You're about to listen to a podcast full of wonder, excitement, and discovery. It's time for an adventure through Odyssey. Alright, so welcome back to the Adventures Through Odyssey podcast, Odyssey Revisited. Now on iTunes. I'm Will.
I'm Gabe.
I'm John.
And today we're going to be taking on Album 32, Hidden Treasures, which currently has a 91% approval rating on the wiki, if these pages would ever load. So does anyone...
Wait, which volume was it
32
again?
Hidden Treasures. Do your homework. So does anyone remember anything specific about...
Try and get out.
Specific about this album?
No, nothing specific. No.
Okay. I went through it again, and there's a few more... like Btv Kids Radio history episodes than I remember.
Well, I definitely remember Gloobers.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep.
Alright, so we're going to start off with the first episode, or I should say first 3 episodes, Malachi's Message. Episodes 406 through 408 aired September 12th to the 26th, 1998, and was written by Paul McCusker. A mysterious visitor arrives in Odyssey who has a pretty wild claim. He happens to be an angel. When strange things begin happening around the Wits End gang, isn't sure what to think.
Okay. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
It was a really solid 3-parter.
Yes, I don't quite know if I agree with the whole thing that's number 1 on the top 100 episodes of all time. I am checking this list out. Several blogs have listed it as that.
I wouldn't say that.
Right. Yeah, because I do remember the first time I heard this, a radio station was like re-airing some old episodes. So like the first time I heard it, oh, this is a 2-parter. Then after the second part ended, I realized it was a 3-parter. I felt it was more dragged out when I listened to it on the radio. Maybe that was just because it was a week apart. But yeah, it's one of the more solid 3-parters because the third act doesn't fall apart.
Yeah.
Overall, I think it's a good episode. I feel like kids might not exactly get some of the parts of it. Like, a younger kid might be like, hey, why is this dude disappearing? Wait, why doesn't Whit remember at the end that this guy was there? I feel like it's an interesting interpretation of how angels still work in, like, our lives, though it works. It's an interesting way to take it. Overall, it's actually a very good episode, and it has a lot to, like, move the whole plot of Odyssey forward, because pretty much everyone makes a major decision almost in this episode.
It is basically just 3 parts to get to the Timothy Center, let's say that.
Yeah. If you told me Odyssey was going to do an episode about an angel coming, I would not have ever predicted that this is how they would have done it. But it still worked. I think I would have done it differently, but...
I mean, they kind of had an angel, you could see it that way in that one Christmas Visitors episode, or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, that. We'll get to that when we get to that. We might be getting to that next week. So yeah, it feels like maybe 3 parts to build to the Timothy Center, but that's fine. They do quite a bit here and there. And it does kind of a different story without breaking Odyssey's continuity reality. My biggest problem with Novacom is kind of by the end, they're going so crazy, it feels a little out of place with the show.
Yeah. It's like, there's so many new changes in Novacom, you don't really know what's going to come next after that.
Yeah. Strong episode. Should they have, done the memory loss at the end of the episode?
I don't know.
I get it was kind of an interesting way to, like, work around, like, you can't have an angel just show up to Odyssey. That doesn't happen in real life. Oh, but it does happen in real life. We just don't remember it.
Well, no.
I feel like it's a little hokey.
I get it's a way to work around the why aren't they talking about this more, but I mean, maybe that's really what happens. We should ask a religious expert.
I could see that, Will.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not. Okay, so wrapping up this episode, any final thoughts, Gabe?
It was really solid. I probably wouldn't have done the thing at the end where they forgot, because that would definitely be confusing for some kids. So.
Yeah, but it's told in a way where, like, a 5-year-old can still listen to this and not feel like they're out of the loop in the story. But yeah, I can understand this messing some kids up.
Yeah.
Moving on to Btv Forgiveness, episode 410, written by Phil Lawler and Tony Martin, aired October 10th, 1994. With the help of the 3 little pigs, Goldilocks, and the big bad wolf, the gang from Odyssey goes back on the air with a valuable lesson on forgiveness.
Okay, first of all, I fell asleep listening to this because I just feel like BTV episodes are so boring and there's nothing to them.
Well, so, I think they work a little better for me than the kids' radio episodes because of the visualization of TV. But yeah, they do kind of start to fuse together at a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few good ones that, you know, are entertaining. Like, the behind-the-scenes one's okay. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like a lot of what's in them is really hit or miss.
Absolutely. Also, I'm not a big fan of their format where we take, like a 7-minute story and chop it up throughout the episode to make it feel longer.
Yeah, I don't really like that either.
And then we've got the Eugene side stuff about the dump that kind of turns into, oh, that's more of a lesson about redemption, but okay, whatever.
That one. Okay, I remember which one you're talking about. That one.
Yeah.
The fairy tale one is like, oh, the pig tries to scare everyone with the wolf. Oh, what a twist.
Yeah, at this point, the big bad wolf not being the villain is so overused, it feels a little overused here.
Yeah.
So I'm getting we don't have a lot to say about this episode, so do we just want to move on?
I agree.
Yeah. Decent, I would say, this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are better BTVs, but they've also done worse ones. Alright, next episode. In All Things Give Thanks, episode 411, written by Bill Myers, originally aired October 17th, 1998. The Mulligans learn that no matter what troubles they encounter along the way, they should still thank God for all of their blessings.
Okay, yet another super solid episode from the family that disappeared.
Yeah, didn't they, like, show up for a couple of episodes? Nick stuck around for a while, but then everyone else just kind of left.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Whatever happened to Nick? But that's a show for another time.
I feel like
Does anyone know?
I feel like he was too hardcore for Odyssey.
He did smoke.
Yeah, but I also feel like their family dynamic and all the characters they added could have been really good in the long run.
I remember there was that one episode, the episode Chains, where, like, they take them to that family at the very end of the episode, and the dad just says, like, thanks, or something, and, like, they drop off that kid and everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, they were trying to build them up as the next big family. They're like, look, they got a farm with all these animals on it. Who doesn't love animals? Who doesn't love delinquents? Who doesn't love, was she blind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see,
who doesn't?
There are places they could have gone with that. Just a family that size. It's just a shame they never did. It was kind of a Timothy Center syndrome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can see they really tried to make a family that was really different, but it's like you almost made it too different.
Yeah, it definitely was different.
They can't relate. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a little too out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a zoo.
And then they, like, adopted, or they took in some kids who, like, mom was dying, and then I think they got another adoptive kid.
Like, yeah, I mean, in this episode they have that foreign kid, and they have the two sisters, and then the girl that's blind, and then Nick.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
They kept trying to add to it, maybe thinking, oh, this will get them, like, the audience to like them more or something.
And it sort of worked again, just if we had seen more, but what are you going to do?
Maybe this is why they're gone.
That could be true. It might be a little hard to write a story about that family and try to keep everybody making sense.
You could just have them go on an island and call them the Swiss Family Mulligans.
Mulligans?
Somewhat. I think I found my fan fiction. But more importantly, one of the bigger gripes of the episode for me is they again have to go around this someone misinterprets part of the Bible and then has to learn that's not what it really means. So...
Yeah, but can everyone say that? I was happy when that kid fought back.
Well, absolutely. It was nice to see a kid fight back, and I don't want to say not face any repercussions, but at least they didn't, like, make it seem like, oh, you did something incredibly wrong.
Yeah, at least there were some repercussions compared to last album that we covered about cheating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but overall, really solid episode. A bit of a underplayed neighbor, but okay.
Yeah.
Overall good. Could have seen more of the family. Next episode.
Yep.
The Devil Made Me Do It, episode 413, written by Marshall Young and Phil Lawler. Originally aired October 31st, 1998. Very fitting. Using a variety of sketches, Kids Radio airs a show about the devil and the ways he tempts us. Okay, we of course have so how do we want to cover this one? Do we just want to say it's a average BTV episode of kind of a frightening devil performance?
Is it BTV?
Yeah.
Or is it...
I mean, Kids Radio.
Kids Radio. I actually think...
Yeah.
If this is the one I didn't listen to this one beforehand. Sorry, everybody. But is this the one where it's pretty much they just do everything with the devil and, like, it's a courtroom thing and all that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say this is probably one of the best Kids Radio episodes.
Carrie, Larry,
like,
Gary,
when you look
Terry.
at all of them...
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like they tried to do I feel like this is probably the best Kids Radio episode that's not like those biblical war episodes.
Yeah, I liked this one better than Btv Forgiveness on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will agree. But they actually made the devil kind of frightening, I'll say. So any final thoughts on this episode?
I think it was pretty solid Kids Radio.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely one of the stronger ones, just because it doesn't feel like it digresses as much as it keeps going.
Yeah, usually Kids Radio and BTV episodes, I just want to stop listening because I'm just bored. But this one I actually felt like I wanted to listen through the whole thing.
Yeah. All right, moving on to Buried Sin, episode 414, written by John Fornoff, and originally aired November 7th, 1998. Dwayne Oswald, Jared DeWitt, and Eugene discover a buried box that tells of an old murder. Dwayne and Jared try to solve the case themselves.
Okay, I thought this was actually a really good episode, but I think they really underplayed the seriousness of those two kids going to a guy's, what hospital room was it? Yeah. And he killed his great-grandfather. It's like, that could have been really serious.
Well, here's the only reason I was fine with it. One, they established it was an accident. And two, they established the guy wasn't particularly violent. I did find it weird Eugene and, Jack freak out about him, and they don't really do anything to stop them. But, yeah, I agree. They kind of underplayed the fact that maybe they shouldn't be trying to do this. Oh, the other thing I will say is, when it turns out to be Dwayne's great-great-grandfather and he gets mad about it, I'm not saying he shouldn't, but the fact that he never really knew him, he gets kind of uncharacteristically mad about it.
I mean,
yeah, they were definitely trying to build up some suspense there.
I mean, I completely understand why they wanted to make him a little angry, but it wasn't like he murdered someone he knew.
So just like family, bonds or something.
Right. Yeah, that is very true.
I mean, I'm assuming no one on the writing team has had this happen to them. So, you know.
That they know of.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Dr. Thomas Newcastle appeared in a previous episode.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Which one?
The Mysterious Stranger Part 2. I don't quite remember. I'm just reading this here.
I remember him. I don't remember why he was in the episode.
His name.
Well, I'm glad they did that, so that at least his character had a little bit of a backstory in Odyssey.
No, but I heard him talk before this episode. He's in another episode of this.
Didn't he play another character though?
It's possible. I haven't been listening to
Didn't
all of these.
Didn't he play Connie's dad or stepdad?
Oh yeah, I think he did. You might be right. Huh. We will look into that and tell you guys next week.
All right.
But for now, we will move on. Well, any final thoughts on this episode?
I thought it was actually really good mystery for Odyssey.
It is also nice to see an episode before they made Jared the conspirator.
Yeah.
Not that I had a problem with that, but by the time he had to leave the first time, it was almost too ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. We now get to move on to the episode we've all wanted to talk about, Gloobers. Episode 415, written by John Fornoff and aired November 14th, 1998. Dwayne Oswald and Jared Dwight use the Room of Consequence to experience a video game.
Okay, so they do this episode about video games, and then they come out with a video game. Like, was it around that same time?
No, it was years later.
Okay,
it was
so
a good while later.
I don't know. There's just a lot of problems with how they use this for so many things, and come out with a video game.
Was it maybe more like 5? But the game, like the earliest, would have been like 2008.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yeah, I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find the release.
The animated episode came out in 2001, and the game came out in... Surprisingly, they do not list the date on the page.
Hold on. What was the name of the game?
Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Adventures in Odyssey and The Great Escape.
Hold on. You guys keep talking. I'll look it up.
So on one hand, it's an important lesson for people. The problem is, one, I think they kind of kept hammering it home. 2, they made a video game about not playing video games. So, say what you will about that.
I thought, like, if they only used this episode once, it would have been pretty solid.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why they use it so much.
Yeah, I mean, at least in the video, they changed the script around. You know, like
yeah, and they changed the kids, right?
Yeah, like when they remade Someone to Watch Over Me as an animated script.
I mean, at least they did that.
Right. Well, here's the thing. When they remade Someone to Watch Over Me, they basically did a shot-for-shot with a different kid. At least in this one, they changed the script around so it works a little better visually.
Yeah.
The game released...
And just so everyone knows, you can, if you have an Adventure Club, you can go and listen to however many different renditions they did, and the episode, like the video.
I swear we're not being paid. Yeah.
It released in 2005.
Okay.
The game. So.
Okay, so 4 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. 6, 7.
Yeah.
Overall, it's. Do you have any thoughts on this episode, John?
Okay. Well, I feel like there's a whole list of episodes that are better to choose for doing like a cartoon version and a game version off of, because the episode's not bad, but I don't think it's that great of an episode. I wonder if like Focus on the Family just was like, I don't know, like they're probably super anti-video game or something. They're probably not super anti-video game, But it's like the fact that they did 3 versions, including a video game that told you not to play video games, makes me feel like you probably really are trying to get kids not to play that many video games. And I get that, but you could also do that with a whole other list of mediums. You could do that with not watching too many movies or like TV or like going out too much or something. Like there's a whole list of stuff you can do. The fact that they decided to do it 3 times with games and not even reference like, oh, doing stuff in excess. Instead of it's like, oh, video games only. That's the only thing you should limit yourself to.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're going to do 3 different versions of an episode and you're going to make a cartoon about it and a video game, do Malachi's Message. That would have been so much better.
Yeah. Maybe not a video game of Malachi's Message. But a video, yes.
They all have the same twist, too. They all have that kid who's really old, and you find out, oh, he's actually a kid, but his life was sucked away in every single version.
Yeah, yeah, at least shake that up, guys. More importantly, the game isn't very good.
The game's just a bunch of, like, mini-games.
And you've got to play like 10 levels of each, and each level's pretty long.
Well, here's the problem.
Maybe they wanted to make a bad video game so that kids didn't play video games anymore.
Yeah.
That could be it.
Here's the problem. The game starts with no intro cutscene, and it's his, like, breakout clone. But when I was a kid, it was really hard. So, like, you start it, and it's just this breakout thing, and it's, like, 5 levels, and the first level's even kind of hard for a younger kid to do. So you're trying to beat this, so all that's there are, like, kids commenting, like, whoa, look at that go! It exploded! And it's like, well, no, if you're gonna make a kid's game, you should make it so a kid can get through it easy. And, like,
it's important to note,
everything else isn't too hard. Everything else isn't really too hard. Like, you can beat everything else. Just the first level is a lot harder compared to everything else. If I played it today, it would probably be super easy. But I'm saying when I was a kid, it wasn't easy.
Go on, Gabe.
Okay, if this game was reviewed on IGN, I guarantee you it would be 2.7 too much water. I mean, what else could it be?
Yes, it is at least a Room of Consequence episode that device they almost never use.
Yeah, that's I like those episodes.
But it's the only time the world doesn't end.
I don't want to be rude, but this could have easily just been an Imagination Station episode.
Well, you can say that about a lot of episodes, though. That's the thing.
That's probably why there's no more Room of Consequence. They're just all Imagination Station now.
No, you could say that about a lot of episodes. Okay. Gloobers. Not a bad idea. They just kind of used it too much.
Yeah.
Alright, next episode. The Tower, episode 416, written by Doug McIntosh and aired November 21st, 1998. Nathaniel and Eugene watch the construction of the Tower of Babel via the use of the Imagination Station. At least it's only one part?
Yeah, that's probably the best part about it, that it's one, no pun intended, that it's one part.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt there.
Yeah.
I didn't go back and listen to it, but I remember it being pretty good. Nothing too crazy.
It was okay. I feel like you don't need a whole episode to go over the Tower of Babel story. I mean, it's interesting they gave it background, but the Tower of Babel is such a vague story in of itself. It's kind of...
Yeah, I see what you mean. But at least they didn't try to stretch it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, if it was 2 parts, it would have been horrible.
Yeah, again, not a lot to say just because it's an Imagination Station straightforward Bible episode. Overall, very strong, one of the better Bible episodes. Shall we move on to the next episode?
Interesting combination of characters with Nathaniel and Eugene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd like to actually see more of those in the future, but of weirder character combinations.
Yeah. I feel like a Imagination Station adventure with Eugene and Jay would be hilarious.
Oh, yes. Yes, it would. Okay. Just because we are starting to press ourselves for time, next episode, Not So Trivial Pursuits. Episode 417, written by Phil Lawler and aired November 28th, 1998. Dwayne Oswald's values are called into question when he's given the opportunity to cheat on a game show, and Jared DeWhite learns that Mandy Strasberg has a secret.
I think this was a really solid slice of life episode.
Yeah, it is also one of the few episodes where both of the plots function simultaneously. If that makes sense.
What did you say about it?
That the A and B plot, at least kind of at the same time, are both interesting. There's generally one that's really interesting and one that isn't. At least both of these kind of work.
Yeah, I think these definitely worked overall pretty good for when Odyssey does this. We're for one-parters,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It does, again, bring into question the Odyssey character's aging, because Mandy talking about sucking her thumb, or as we recall 2 albums ago, she was still a really little kid.
Yeah.
So, how much time has passed? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Odyssey aging is all, up in the air.
Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the whole thing about Bart trying to get him to cheat on the game show for... What's the reason again?
So that he can get 10%?
Something like that, yeah.
10% of all that money that I'm sure a kid's game show winner gets.
Oh, yeah, just be tons of probably $100.
Yeah.
Yes. Sounds like something someone might be tempted to do on an academic team, wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah.
Well, John clearly doesn't have a lot to say about this episode.
I don't even remember what the secret was. I'm sorry. You guys probably...
Mandy sucks her...
Oh.
No, it's okay. I did not listen to the next one, so...
Oh, okay. This is a stupid episode. I don't even remember anything about it.
We shouldn't have said that.
Both of us really liked it, John.
Really?
It was actually that Mandy had a secret. Her dog actually died like 10 years ago and she didn't tell anyone in Odyssey about it, so that was her secret.
Oh, okay.
That would have been a better secret.
So that was a really solid episode.
This was when she was younger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to say I like older Mandy a lot better than younger Mandy.
Yeah. They kind of even jumped to older Mandy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Alright, so, decent episode. A stronger episode for me and Gabe. John didn't really like it as much. Maybe they could have made Bart out to be a little more mean than he actually was as far as getting him to cheat. Because again, I feel like no one had repercussions for that. Anyway, we're having a few sound crises here, so we're going to move on to the next episode. Telemachus Part 1 and 2. Episodes 420 and 421 aired April 17th and April 24th, 1999, written by Jim Ware. Wit tells Cody Carper the story of Telemachus, one of its early church martyrs.
I think it's a really good episode, actually. I like that they actually did a religious story that's not actually from the Bible, but it's still kind of older.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was... Go ahead.
I feel like it's like the episodes where they talk about the saints are interesting, and I feel like they could do a lot more about them, but I think they've only ever done, maybe max 4, like Telemachus, St. Patrick, St. Valentine, and excluding, the ones that are in the Bible. There might be one other I'm forgetting. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, again, good idea. Admittedly, they could have done more of these. I liked it wasn't an Imagination Station episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a nice change. I don't remember it a lot. I remember it being pretty interesting story. I think 2 parts was good for this.
Yeah, it didn't feel needlessly long. Okay, I think we have said all we can say on this episode because it's a pretty straightforward biblical episode.
It's not biblical. What are you talking about?
Historical episode. So, we're going to wrap up with how did we feel about this album?
That was alright.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
I'm with you. It's got some strong episodes, but like the Btv and a couple other episodes, like how poorly Buried Sin is written, kind of drags it down.
I think the strongest episodes are Malachi's message and In All Things Give Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. Well, any thoughts, John?
I'll go with, 5.8.
Okay. Well, that wraps up this album. So now we move on to the best part of an Odyssey podcast, the trivia question.
Ooh.
And because we were talking about old Mandy versus young Mandy, what is the name of the doll Mandy sells to get Bart Rathbone some money after a tornado?
Oh, no. I don't know.
You really don't know?
Polly.
I really do not know.
Oh, you looked that up.
What?
Polly?
Is that it?
Barbie?
Yes.
Barbie?
That was pure...
It's Polly.
That was pure skill. That could
Or
pull
was it
Polly
Holly?
out. Huh?
I think it was Polly, but now I think it might have been Holly.
Man,
No,
well...
it was Polly.
You gotta come prepared for this stuff.
If you guys would write your own trivia questions, we wouldn't have this problem.
Well, I just remember saying, Polly, Polly. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's Polly. All right, everyone, so before we go any further, we would like to thank you all for listening, and you can find us on iTunes and on YouTube. And join us next time when our podcast will be Album 3. Album 3, Secret, Surprises, and Sensational Stories, or as it's known now, Heroes. All right. I'm Will.
I'm Gabe.
And I am John.
See you next week.